audio's on. My audio's on. All right. Hey, champions. We should
Hello.
be live.
Hello.
Look, Will's so excited.
I had no energy before this started, but now that I know the people are watching,
Yeah.
stage is set and I'm ready to be live.
The real. Center thyself. Thank you, Steven. Sound is good. So I apologize ahead of time if things are a little choppy. My computer's been acting weird for the past little while, and I'm hoping that we survive for the stream.
like Alex's computer weird or like
Yeah. Me and Sid spent 15 minutes playing phone tag earlier today.
Yeah. Like every time I load Zoom, it'll be like connecting and then take 5 minutes to connect my audio and headphones and everything. It's so annoying. And it just happened randomly like 2 days ago. So I have no idea what's going on. All right. So today we are talking about circuits. We're talking about Origins Game Fair. We're going to be talking about some product stuff, some Future League stuff, some videos that have come out. It's been a pretty crazy week for things going on for Genesis, and I'm really excited about that. So, as always, we're going to start by talking about games we played for the week. I think that's kind of a good place to start. Anyone want to kick us off? Will? Alex?
Sure. I'll start.
All right, go for it.
All right. I had an inkling this week. I'm like, I know who I want to play. The champion. Odara. It was time for some Odara this weekend.
All right.
And I'm
all right.
like, what pairs perfectly with Odara? I gotta think on this real quick. Primordial Forces. Primordial Forces. Pair with Odara. Run it.
you've never learned your lessons, eh?
What do you mean?
never
It's
learned.
perfect. She can play exactly 3 Primordial Forces and no other aura cards. You know the strategy. There was about 12 Primordial Forces in the deck. Everything else was energy.
Nice. All right.
It had some high points. It had some low points. But it did all right. At the end of the day, it started off strong. The very first game I faced Idris Split, and like the first match just decimated it. It worked. It went perfectly. It was Primordial Forces and Oten. What more could you ask for? Game 2, I got about only 1 Primordial Force, 0 Oten. It didn't go so well. Game 3, I got about 2 Primordial Forces and 1 Oten, and the game was so close, and I just lost. It was such a tight game. So I ended up winning my next match. It was against a newer opponent, but didn't take home the bacon.
Hey, James and Jason and everyone else who joined us. Jeff Pasito's there. Dex and Drafts is with us. We've got a pretty good group tonight. I'm very excited about that.
But you said you had Primordials and you have Otens. What else did you have?
So you got Otens, you got Malicious Persuasion.
Yes.
Is there much else?
How many Primordials were in the deck? Let's actually.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 12. I'm pretty sure it was 12.
12.
I think there was 5 Underworld Knowledges. There's something in the middle that I'm not remembering.
Mid-level, like
Shadow's
Claw?
Grasp.
No,
it
Shadow's
wasn't
Grasp
Shadow's
cost
Claw.
aura.
Oh, I fit in actually. So yeah, so I didn't put more Primordials in because I put in Rain of Arrows at the 7 cheese slot instead. Because if I'm already out of aura, it's not like you can put an aura thing in. And I want something else that could be close to finishing the game. Because that's the thing. If you get 1 Primordial down and you're able to whip it, you're probably doing 14 damage on a turn. So you're getting you quickly take them down. So like if you have 2 Primordials that last a turn and get out there, you just shred through an opponent quick.
Yeah.
So that was the hope to finish it off. Ironically, the hands where I got, and these are the games that I lost, was usually a starting hand of 3 Rain of Arrows were the games that I lost. It'd be 3 Rain of Arrows and just 3 other cards. I'm like, I would really love a Primordial Force right now.
Yeah.
All I heard was a lot of ifs. If you get a Primordial Force, if
Alex was a better player.
if
that
you
is
don't
just
have
the
the
dream of
perfect hand.
Odara. You know, if Odara can win, if you get perfect hands. You know?
Ardora can win anything if no one else is playing.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Oh, Dara.
That was your weekend, the weekend game?
Yes, and then I have another deck prepped to test out. I'll tease it a little bit. It's a quicksand deck. Newbie quicksand.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't think I've ever seen a Nubia quicksand deck. I always see all the others. I don't know if you guys have.
Normally it's a lot of
have.
Kun, right? A lot of Kun quicksand because he gets the double movement, still plays the action speed.
So just before COVID, we were playing pretty regularly out of Forbes Hobbies in Cambridge. And there was this one person who came in and he just built troll decks. And his biggest one was a quicksand deck. And he ran it as either Nubia or Fong, depending on if you wanted to be more aggro or more annoying. But yeah, that was the thing. And it was just about playing in multiplayer, because we usually just play multiplayer. And then taking one person, dropping them in quicksand, and just pummeling them and not letting them do anything while everyone else does their stuff. And usually I was the one who was picked on for the quicksand.
I heard Sandstorm, not quicksand. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Ignore all my comments. Can we cut the tape and reset? I was like,
Joey, how do we do that?
Nubia Sandstorm? I think everyone's done that, no?
No, quicksand, Will.
Quicksand.
Yeah.
Quicksand.
Well, there's a very specific reason why we kept quicksand in like the OP packs. And it was like, there is still quite a bit of love for that card. So
I get you. I get you every time.
How about you, Will? How's your games?
I'm trying to. So, I guess there was Thursday night games. Was there Thursday night games?
I saw a photo of you at some point playing.
Yeah, I've definitely been playing a lot because. So we had So Thursday night, I can't remember exactly what happened. Oh, Thursday night I decided to run Air Necro, Nubia Air Necro. So just a little fun deck that I had built back during the Pillar fiasco of 2022.
Just a few weeks ago.
So it still works. Like you just play the pillars a little bit differently, right? And it's fun. It was a really good deck. But we're starting to get a consistent group of people out now, about 8 people almost every Thursday and every Saturday. Yeah.
You gotta pump it, man. You gotta advertise Heads or Tails.
It's going really well. But we do have, I won't say any names, we have one individual whose only deck they have built and the deck that they know and love is the Nubia hybrid. So
Is this
no, it's not Sid. It's not Sid.
We know he's got a
It's
con
trying
deck.
it's like, oh, I'm the champion. I'm just gonna try a bunch of different things. I
don't-
lost. Oh well, see, I wasn't really playing my best deck. That's why I lost. Anyway, so this Nubia hybrid deck's coming in, just cleaning up all these like dirtily decks that we've been playing, right? Just to try new things. So it happened twice, and I was like, no more. I'm done with this. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And it's just that what's that saying? It's like the low tides. No, so I don't know. There's a saying with rising tides sink.
High tides raise all ships.
Yeah. So this person's bringing in the Nubia hybrid at tier 0, tier 1, and it's like, well, I hate losing, so I'm going to rise to the occasion. So Saturday I brought okay, I guess it's Reuben's deck, but
Reuben.
Reuben's deck that he played at the championship. So I brought the version of that deck that I have, sort of the original build of it. And I didn't get to face the Angel hybrid. I was looking forward to it, but then someone else ended up taking care of it for me, so I didn't get to get there. But that deck is so much fun. Like,
yeah.
Just a tempo, grindy match. Like there was one game where I was at 3 health for 4 rounds, and I won the game at the end.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, I just eked out the little bit of advantage. They couldn't play any more summons. My desk companion sat there, and I dropped like Cavises or moved a Chrono Walker in position to protect me. Couldn't get around them, and it was like chip, just move back, chip, move back, chip, and it just I was able to like stretch out the game and win at the end. It was just like, it's a very powerful deck. And then the final match, of that week, we it was like it was a Kun, sort of a spammy deck. I think they were trying some Necros and Kun, moving around and dropping Necros around. And yeah, just the cog restricts and the mixture of malicious persuasions. I was able to do they came in, I dropped the Desk Companion in front. They came in, they did the bolt shot on the Desk Companion. So I was able to Chrono Walker in response, step into them, and then cog restrict it in response to them trying to kill the Desk Companion. And then that Desk Companion lived the rest of the game.
Nice.
And it's just like, it's such a fun deck to play. So
Darren asked, was it Kenny who was playing the...
I do not recall who it was, but they know
Will's
now.
Getting all political now.
So and now I just bring I just pack my core and my Idris decks. So if that person shows up, it's like, all right, switching up.
Yep. What you got to do is have a core test deck, and then just sideboard in everything to make it the control.
Well, see, so we have these anniversary promos, which are going to the person who's not winning, but I can't not try to win. It's just not how I work. Yep. And Steve also has like this, store championship going on, right? As well. So, and of course, the store championship also includes the actual champion and this guy that came third and second, and they like to remind me about how I didn't come first all the time. So now it's like, well, this is the new championship now. This is the store one, and I'm beating you consistently, and I want to see them step it up. And I know Sid's in the chat, and I think Dan watches this later. So
Sid's
this is my caller. No more of this dirtily rain malfeasance decks, and no more of these Dara Call the Bones decks Sid's been running. Let's go.
all right.
Pre-game for the new championship.
Nice. I love it. I really want to make it down for one of those events just to watch. It's really cool. Steve-O's been putting out a lot of photos from people playing, and it's like, yes, this is what we want to see.
I haven't consented to a lot of those pictures, and I know some of them are very, very close up of my face.
So he take his phone and just hey, Will, how's the game going?
I'm trying to focus. I got angels coming on my sides, and he's like, "Oh, smile for the camera." I'm no, I'm focusing.
Nice. Love it. Steve-O, I approve. So this week, Wednesday nights, I play with the Kitchen Table TCG community. Great guys, still learning the game. This week, I introduced them to Coliseum Fate. So I got 3 good videos out of that, which are going to be coming over the next few days. But it was embarrassing because the first game, this is a spoiler, but I mean, you'll see it coming the moment you see the video. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to teach them how Coliseum Fate works. I'm not going to, pull out a big deck or anything. I'm just going to play with the Raha starter. And round 1, I'm showing them how to move. So I move forward. I play some summons, all that beckoning stuff. Round 2, I'm moving a little bit closer to go for the attack. Round 3, he OTKs me. And I'm like, well then.
Now, were there clues? Was there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the Rain OTK deck. I think that's the only preset deck in the Coliseum Fate. And there was also the round 2. He's like, Epiphany, careful consideration. And everyone's there. He's like, he's got an OTK. I'm like, he may, but I mean, I still want to just go for it, right? I want to go for the win. And then I just get an OTK, and I was like, yeah, that just happened. C'est la vie. But it was good because in game 3, I wasn't playing. And what I did was I was in the chat, but I would mute myself and then just put in commentary. So I'm like, I'm thinking about what my strategy would be, what I want their plays to be. And I'm really curious how people take to that video, because if they like that, then that's something I can just do with the kitchen table TCG community and put up more gameplay videos. So I'm excited about that. And also this week, I'm excited because I'm actually going to be showing Coliseum Fate to DM Armada. Hopefully, if things go well.
Nice.
So hopefully we can record that and get a video out of it. But at the very least, I haven't played against them. I'm loving Coliseum Fate because I'm trying to play a game against DM Armada, play a game against Red Zone Rogue, trying to set up all these little games going on.
Right.
And I think it's really good for a lot of these content creators who haven't, had the chance to play as many games as some of us have.
Well, and that's the thing. It gets you. It's easy to get in. It's easy to start.
Yeah.
And it does create a very lifelike sort of play experience.
Yeah. And the recordings are always so much better than using tabletop.
Well, Tabletop Simulator is doing so much, and there's so many physics.
Yeah.
Like I remember there was one time I accidentally hit a dice, and the dice fell off the table, and then it continued to roll around underneath the table for like 10 minutes. I'm like, why is the engine still going? Like, no one's touching it. Is there like a weird wind tunnel down there?
Nice.
But it's another nice thing is that it's a fan made thing. It's not no one else's source code, right? Like someone has built this from the ground up with the purpose and the love and sort of appreciation of Genesis, right? So it's nice knowing that is an option for when it's difficult to connect.
Yeah, for sure. Everything about it's nice. It also like it blows up the cards so you can read them really well. It has a good camera view at all times. You can see your hand clearly at all times. Like there's this little while where Tabletop Simulator wouldn't show me what's in my hand at the bottom of the screen, like that part wouldn't show up, and I had to like roll my camera over to where my hand is on the table.
Right.
See from there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. So, all right, cool. Let's get into some of our topics for tonight. Our first one being the Game Fair, Origins Game Fair. We got a lot of that set up. Are you too excited? Because you're going. I'm not going. You're going.
Oh, the fun that will be had.
I see this as a huge milestone when we are going to a convention and I don't have to be there. That's a huge milestone for me.
It's a win, right?
Yeah, because I don't want to go to the conventions. I'm not an extrovert like that. I love doing, when I'm there, I love them. I have a blast, no doubt about that. But if I have the choice between going to a convention or, working on my laptop in the office, I kind of want to work on my laptop. Like, that's just the person I am. But are you too excited?
I'm excited. I have a long drive with Alex, so I'm not sure what that's going to happen and what happens in those long drives. I'm sure it's kind of like Vegas. We know what happens in the car with Alex stays in the car with Alex. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited because I remember before COVID hit, I was graciously invited to, what was that one? Board game in Toronto, a board game convention in Toronto, I think it was. Anyways, it got canceled because of COVID, and that's I know.
So the breakout,
yes,
yeah. Okay.
And so that was going to be like my first sort of like being being part of the exhibition or at the.
How do you go on the cons? Let's start there, Will.
Have you gone to I've been to cons.
That's how I met Will.
Yeah,
EGLX.
EGLX. And I've been to Fan Expo.
Your video game convention.
Fan Expo, where basically I stood in a long line and walked as like a big giant monster snake that walked through this whole convention because you couldn't get around anybody. So you just like, all right, these are my people. We're going through this thing together. And but I've never been on the other side, right? Like in the booths, meeting people as they come across, or right, doing that type of thing. So that's going to be very exciting.
Experience,
yeah.
There was a question in chat saying, who's all going to Origins?
From our side, I mean, in chat, everyone who's going, say something. But from our side, you got Will, Alex, Joey from Decks and Drafts, and our marketing team, essentially. He'll be there. Scheming Skeletons joining us, which is awesome. All joining you two. And I'm a little sad because I don't get to meet him. That kind of sucks.
Someday.
Hopefully sometime. So Scheming Skeleton's gonna be there, and then there's another potential judge who's gonna be there, but until we get things confirmed, we'll leave that.
Yeah, that's sort of they are from the area, so they will be sort of last minute. They will either be there or they might not be, depending upon their situation. But really, If they are there, they'll be helping you with the judging on the actual event and stuff. So,
But will you be signing cards, Will?
will I be signing cards? Well, I mean, I'll sign cards if
you have more cards out than I do.
Can we get that? Can we cut that? I need that sent to me just so I can play that every time Alex comes and be like, "Oh, something."
Except, okay, so how many cards have your name on it right now, Alex? That's in print.
No, you said I did, and then when I looked back, I laughed. I'm like, "Oh my God, my name's on that thing." And it wasn't, but you messed up on a different card, didn't you? And my name's on that one.
Yes,
there is a promo. There's a promo.
Infinity Games Kabuzz has Alex's name on it instead of mine. What about Paint Imp? Isn't Paint Imp yours?
No, it's Carl's.
Oh,
nice. James says he'll be down on Friday. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you once said you said Paint Imp was mine, and then I thought Paint Imp was mine, and then I looked up and like it says Carl. I was like, yeah. Then I looked back at the documents and like, yeah, it's Carl.
All right.
Darren makes a good point. Darren actually won 2 cards out of that competition.
Yes. I was gonna say when you're talking about the road trips with Alex. So I've now done 3 road trips with Alex to Quebec. Yeah. So
you can send me the details.
6 hours. What I've come to learn is that Alex likes old school rock music.
Nice.
He got the 90s alternative rock. He knows a lot of those songs. And then I'll leave him to confirm or deny this, but I'm pretty sure I've heard him singing to some of those songs out loud.
Yeah, it does, yeah. To be fair, the whole car was singing, I'm pretty sure. It was Sid, Lionel, and myself. We were all just singing.
Yeah. That was fun. Especially since the weather was just so bad at that time. And I was nervous that we were going to die at any moment. So I'm like, let's just start singing. Okay. I can only justify one US-based game convention that takes 10 plus hours to drive to a year. Gen Con's my go-to this year. So, Gen Con, we're also going to be there. There hasn't been a big announcement. This is more for the people who are watching. Let you know that Gen Con, we're going to be there.
Oh, it was all leaked out. It's
it
the
is,
Ubisoft.
Right?
Ubisoft leaks all over the place.
Is that our first official leak?
I think. Gen Con, we have 3 learn how to play events there, and then not a circuit event, but a qualifier event for the championship.
Yeah.
Because we realized that we wouldn't, if everyone who won the circuits and last year's championship came, it still wouldn't hit 100 players. So there may be more events that come up that aren't actual circuits, but they're just qualifiers into the championship. And then with both Gen Con and Origin's major events, so the circuit and the qualifier event, they're already up on Geo for people to actually pre-register. So
awesome.
If people are looking to do that, then they can do that.
What is happening in chat right now?
Click the link right here. Click the link.
No, that doesn't work, Alex.
Yo, I know all of Avril Lavigne's songs. That would be my list if we're driving. With the right people, I would just jam out to Avril Lavigne.
It's going to be Zombie by Cranberries for the first 3 hours.
Do you know that was redone recently by someone? And they were supposed to bring the original singer on, but she passed away before the recording.
She passed away. Yeah.
And the new version is just so good. There's so much emotion in that song. I love it. We played that during the car ride.
Nice. There's also a new version. What did I hear? There's a new version of "We Will Rock You,"
really?
Not by Queen. Yeah, by a British band. So.
Nickelback, I think, is the music equivalent of Nicolas Cage. Where like sometimes it's really good, and you forgive him, and you're like, "Oh, I really like this," and then other times you're like, "What is wrong with me?"
I'd rather listen to Creed than to Nickelback.
All right, controversies aside, but yeah, Gen Con's gonna be not Gen Con, Origins. That's coming up. Gonna be really awesome. And then we also, if you go to the the Geo event, I'm pretty sure that the promo for that event is announced there. So
yeah,
yeah,
didn't know that.
More leaks.
More leaks.
There's gonna be more proper
Check this
marketing
out.
stuff. I'm sure Joey's like shaking his fist at the screen right now, being like, "I said, don't tell them this stuff already." But
Oh, I'm already signing on.
I'm sure the marketing stuff, Joey's gonna make it look really nice and get it out there. So it's gonna be really, really cool. Yeah, and then
did you see this? That there was a J2 second edition draft in Hong Kong?
oh yeah,
What?
I was actually gonna
Yeah.
bring that up. There's this community in Hong Kong. Not only are they doing drafts and stuff like that, but their constructed events have 12 people at them regularly, and
All right.
they've been running
gotta
for
step
the
it up.
past few months. Even when they didn't have product, they still had 12 people coming out to play Genesis.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they just recently got into Geo, and the way I did that was I was talking to them, and I was like, "Yeah, you have to make the events in Geo, so I can start bragging to other stores that you got 12 people playing at your store." So yeah, that's the thing. There's a Hong Kong community that is gonna overtake the North American. Just watch.
We gotta get a Hong Kong circuit. When's the Hong Kong circuit coming?
That's a while away. But I'm really hoping that more announcements will be coming in the next few weeks. Some really, really cool stuff. But before we get into that, we have a few things. Where do we want to jump to next? Let's talk about Newbie Nights. Newbie Nights are returning.
Yay!
This is really exciting. I think it was one of the, for me, from my perspective, when they started, it was one of the coolest fan-driven initiatives, because I didn't ask for it. Like, I didn't tell anyone to start doing it, and I didn't put a lot of marketing into it. The community kind of came up and did all that, and I was like, that's really awesome. But what do we know about Newbie Nights, the re-beginnings?
Re-beginning. I know the judge that will be there for Newbie Night is going to be Darren. But in all honesty, Darren's at my house this weekend, so I will probably be there just by pseudo proxy of it being at my house.
All right.
Yeah, I think there's going to be I mean, from my perspective, I want to see a lot of the entry level, the new judges go through the newbie program from the judge side, just to kind of just to see what types of questions are asked from new players, what types of things, get some games in, so things naturally come up in games where they can sort of get some experience with that. So, but yeah, I don't have. I think it was posted. Joey posted across all the servers and stuff, but it'll be good to get it back up and running again. So
yeah. So Darren, going back a little bit, is there any language barriers with the Hong Kong community? No. We just been communicating in the email in English, so Google Translate is probably our best friend. And then James.
What? Tease. This just says what the card is. There's no picture of the card. All that work for nothing. Joey,
James,
I need a picture of this card.
James asked, will J2 second printing be sold at Origins? Yeah. They'll be there. They'll be there. There's also some cool announcements for Origins. I'll let Joey share them when they're ready to be shared. But
I believe J2 second printing is hitting the Canadian stores like this week. So
yeah, Heads or Tails got their product today.
So I mean and I heard some other people on the fan server saying that their stores are picking up some. And there are things that distinguish them, right? So if you're going in or if you're asking, if you're buying online, if you're buying over the phone, there is second printing on the box.
Well, because the wrappers.
And the wrappers have the Haunted Castle Gaming logo on the wrapping, right? So those are both distinguishing features. But some people now may want the J1. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It could be a thing. But we were... All right, coming back, we were talking about Newbie Night. So that's happening Saturdays, 8 p.m., right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Nice. I like this because I'm actually going to be sending a lot of the Kitchen Table TCG community and some of the other communities I work with, where I'm teaching them how to play. I'll be like, go join Newbie Night, and they come back here to play competitive. Go learn how to play somewhere else because I want to get into games.
There's there's a lot of great stories from Newbie Night. There's a lot of people that are play a lot and love the game now, have gone through Newbie Night. So I'm sure I will drop in, Alex will drop in, all different things. So
yeah. Are there conversations around deck techs during Newbie Night?
Sometimes. I mean, the most famous one being Reuben's deck. Reuben showed up to a Newbie Night before the tournament, when we sort of had a pre-build of cards that he wanted to play with, played it, and then Alex and I sat down with him afterwards and be like, you could run this and this. And we sort of made some changes. We went, built out the deck. And then the next day he went down to Stevo's and bought all the cards.
Yeah. So you join Newbie Night, you're guaranteed second place.
No, we're not.
That is not a claim that Haunted Castle Gaming is going to defend. That is purely Alex.
What we can say is, if you play at Heads or Tails Gaming, you will make the top 10 or top 8.
Again, not supported by.
No, I'm making that claim.
All right.
Done it once, I can do it again.
Nice. All right. So from Newbie Nights, I want to move over to the other big community that's growing and getting some attention, which is Future League. So we got two big things coming out from Future League right now. One of them being Future League tournaments, which you're running.
Yes, Future League tournaments. We're going to be running, not tonight, obviously.
Boo!
Well, I mean, we could. It doesn't take much, but so yeah, we're going to run a Future League tournament basically after live streams on Tuesday nights. Because the live streams are around 8, so about just after 8:15, 8:30ish, we'll get started. It'll be just a simple Future League based tournament. So you'd have to be in the Future League server to get access to that. You build your decks. And this is why we're not doing it tonight, so you have time to actually build the deck for a week beforehand. It'll be just sort of everyone plays everyone type of deal, and sort of in best of one style games, because it's Future League. We're here for testing. And then once a month, we'll do it on a Saturday, because the information that I gathered was half the people are able to do it on a weeknight, half the people are able to do it on a weekend. So we'll do one half and the other, kind of bouncing around. But it'll be sort of laid back. There'll be not a lot of structure, because it is more of a testing environment. So the understanding is that some of these cards could be very strong, and we don't know that. Or some of the cards could be very bad and they need to be increased or buffed. So it is more of a fun approach to an organized play. Having said that, it will be supported by HCG, Haunted Castle Gaming, with OP kits and all the like. So we'll be handing and distributing those out to everyone who participates. And if we have to gather information, we'll make sure to get that. But you'll get your OP packs. You'll get. We'll figure out. Yeah, I still have to figure out who's getting all the foils and stuff. Probably the person who does the best on the night will get their choice of foil, and then there's a pack as well for maybe, most creative Future League deck or something like that. We'll see. But everyone will win something or get something, even if I have to supplement from my own box of cards. So yeah.
From my side on the logistics, as long as everyone is there so there's 3 levels of rewards. One of them is what we've known is if you submit a test report, you get to select one of the 4 Future League promos, and you get a copy of that.
Right. Yes.
So that's baseline, that's staying for everyone. Then if you participate, you'll get an OP pack, and the OP kit will be divided normally. So I'll leave it to the organizers to tell me who's getting what. But everyone who participates in those events will get the OP pack, and then the foils, anniversary foil, the OP foil, and the booster pack. The organizers will tell me who gets what.
We'll get distributed.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. The community answered this already, but TTS or Coliseum, it's on TTS. Yeah. Coliseum.
There is chat about maybe getting the Coliseum with a special code for Future League, but I don't know. We'll see. I think for now it's easier just to run it from TTS because everything's up there. The design team has access to TTS. They don't have access to Coliseum of Fate on the back end. Sorry, the back end of it. And we have been always using TTS as the testing ground, so we'll continue to do that. However, if that is a barrier for someone entering into this event, then definitely reach out to either myself or to Haunted Castle Gaming, and we'll make sure to figure out how to make that less of a barrier for you.
Yeah.
But
it would be nice if in the future we can get that on Coliseum, and then because it'll just be a lot smoother. Alex, you're gonna say something?
No.
Okay. And then the other thing that's happening with the Future League community is the foil paris. Where is it? Here it is. Ooh, it's shiny and foil. So these are now coming out to Future Leaguers, and this is my big thing is I want to incentivize people to start looking at producing higher quality test reports. And I also need to get the game design teams accountable for reading those test reports and giving feedback on them. So how it's going to break down is you submit test reports at the end of the month. The game design team will go through all of them, and whichever ones impress them, those people will get a foil pari in addition to their Future League promo. So you're not missing out on your baseline Future League promo. You're not missing out on those OP kits. You'll just get this in addition to those things. But each person's can only get one. So if you submit 6 really good test reports, then we're just still only giving you one. But
you guys know how easy it is to impress me from the deck text events, right?
Just make sure you have forethoughts.
Yeah, for me, it's gonna be a lot more about talking what you got out of the testing, right? Like, where do you see the problems and what you recommend as solutions? The closer it is to our actual testing process, where you had a hypothesis, testing, conclusion, summary, that type of thing would be more powerful. But right. I'm not expecting people to go these crazy reports on every single card. No.
I'll give an example of a bad report. You're like, I tested this 2/2 vanilla summon. Unplayable. Angel of Retribution exists. That's a bad test report.
What does that tell you? That the 2/2 wasn't going to beat the Angel of Retribution?
Yeah, that's not.
That's what I mean. That's why it's a bad test report. If you test a summon but always refer to Angel of Retribution, even if it wasn't even your match, that's a bad test report.
So that being said, we're starting with Pari. There's going to be we will cycle through and eventually go through all the VIP promos. We'll talk about that as they come to their point. But this one, done by Darren, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm excited to hand out the foils. So, yay! It took a little while to figure out how we were going to distribute those, because we had these foils made for the championship, and then they came a lot later. We got the backup ones, which we gave out during the championship. Then we got the foils, and we're like, okay, now what are we going to do with these? And we already reinforced the OP kit with the anniversary promos, so let's reinforce Future League with the foils. So that's gonna be cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if you haven't joined Future League, there's links either on the fan server or on the website.
The description of this video might actually have them as well. But if you're in any of the Discord servers, people can invite you, right?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So Future League, Newbie Night. So have you guys seen the Scheming Skeleton and Red Zone Rogue videos?
I have not watched the Red Zone Rogue. I've watched the Scheming Skeleton.
Yeah, I also watched the Scheming Skeleton one, yeah.
So Red Zone Rogue, there was one thing that I took away from that, which I really loved, where he talks about how we were one of the games that were there before the big Kickstarter boom, and we will be one of the games that survives after the fallout. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
We could do a whole episode just on the Kickstarter boom and all this stuff that's going on with them. But
it's a difficult topic because
yeah,
there is so much to do with that, and I don't want to make assumptions on what other people's thoughts are going into.
Not even that. It's just like the way things are being handled, the way things are, what's happening afterwards.
Yeah.
Like communication afterwards is really interesting. Yeah. Especially with some of them that have, really blown up and really got a lot of money, and then it's just been quiet for like 2 months or whatever afterwards, or like a month. And maybe it's just they're working through things, right? Some people, like, this is like it is actually a Kickstarter, right? Like, this is their first real money into the company, and now they have to allocate and do things, right? Whereas Genesis was coming in pretty much already established a good foundation, and now we're ready to take the next step.
Yeah.
So
Darren asks question, so these will be sent out for May Future League reports. The parties, yes. They're starting with May, and moving forward. We will have something special added to any Future Leaguer who goes above and beyond in their reports and impresses us in some way. And it'll also be, part of it will be the game designers. Anyone who gets impressed by a report has to then tell the community, talk to the people and tell them, this is what we're looking for, this is why this report was really cool, thank you for that information. So other people can learn and also increase the quality of their reports. All right, and then Tutu couldn't deal with... Eric also responds to Tutu can't deal with angels. All right. But yeah...
We didn't say make a Tutu that could deal with angels. We could, that's possible, but...
Yo, Goliath Sphinx Eater. And then Red Zone Rogue needs players delivered to his house so he can play the game. That's part of the reason why I reached out to Red Zone Rogue about playing on Coliseum Fade. If you have a way of getting hold of him and you want to play, reach out to him and see if he's up for a game. He's gonna get spammed so much. Like, I'm done with Genesis now. All right, Scheming Skeletons video. He brought up a few things that were, I guess.
He's always been very honest about his opinions, but he always approaches his opinions with such a professionalism and just sort of like not there to just trash and destroy, but more just to be like, here's actual constructive criticism.
Yes.
And here's why it matters to me, right? It's not saying, he's not saying that everyone will be, think the same way, or everyone should think this, or we shouldn't buy this because of this, right? He's just being like, I bought these. I really like this. I really liked how this worked. This was sort of, this was something that I didn't think was good, or I thought maybe could be fixed or could be adjusted. And it's a good point. Like, I've always appreciated his perspective on everything that he talks about, really. So,
Alex, you go.
Yeah, no, I watched it. I had no issues with it. I think he went too easy on us.
I think that's one of the things. On one side, we got people like Alex on the team who are what's the term? Who want to be hurt? Want
to be hurt? Masochist?
Yeah. Masochist. That's it. That's what Alex is. He wants people to tear him apart. From my perspective, I think the thing I appreciate the most is his candor. Like, I want people to really dig into the speak the truth, tell us what's the issues, what are their concerns. Just know that after that happens, I spend the next 3 hours in my little corner being like, I am a good person. I am a good person. But at the end of the day, I'd rather people feel comfortable being able to come up to us and say, here are the issues that have come up and where they want to see improvements, compared to just staying silent the entire time.
But the thing to remember, though, in all of it is that it's not, yes, it is an issue that that Haunted Castle Gaming has to deal with, right? But it's not necessarily directly our issue that we have caused, or that Haunted Castle has caused, right? Because like the print lines on the foils, like that, he's even said there's times where you don't see them unless the foil is just right. So unless they are actually thinking before they process the paper, oh, let's check this, or let's see what there's lines on this. They may have never even known that there were lines on it.
Yeah.
Right? It's a different story if it's like, oh, look at all these lines. Well, let's just use this one.
Yeah. It was, at the end of the day, and this is the thing, when you sit down and talk to anyone who's part of the process, at the end of the day, they do want to produce the best quality product they can. It's just sometimes they make mistakes, sometimes they don't catch things, and we need to learn and improve and grow, right? So I think I appreciate that Scheming Skeleton came out and talked about those things, and everyone who has, they brought them up. But on the other side, people are loving the borderless ethics, and I'm happy about that, because that was there was a lot of controversy about that at first. That was my fault. But overall, like, people have been loving those.
Well, it's interesting because, borderless seems to be what mentioning Kickstarter, there seems to be a lot of Kickstarters that are starting at borderless. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking with Alex being like, I'm excited to see what the borderless of Genesis looks like. But is it, and I asked the question, is it becoming the norm? Like, are people just getting rid of borders altogether? And to his point, it was, where do you go? What's the next step in your starting off in your journey? What's your next step to sort of create something new, right? They have to, if they start at borderless, they have to start doing more than that, right?
Yeah.
Well, they'll go from borderless to border cars.
Ooh, nice fancy borders. And there's some games that will just really stick with their borders, right? Like Magic loves their borders. They utilize the borders, right? And that's what they started doing. I like borderless because, hopefully down the road we'll see borderless cards. I always like it when games make borderless cards line up, so you can have like art that works together. It's a really cool space where it's a collectible piece where it's like I put these together, it can actually it creates a picture or a bigger picture, right? So it's going to be interesting to see, where what borderless does with Genesis. So
going back a little bit in the chat, Jeff Pacito talks about when it comes to Kickstarter, the 5-year rule, right? You want to make sure that the product you're investing into is going to be there for 5 years. Said we cheated because we already had 4 years when we went into the Kickstarter. Didn't cheat. It's
check.
We did it the way that was right for the company. I didn't think that's cheating. I just think it was planning. Heads or Tails mentions that it was his side of the coin. And let's not forget, Steve-O did a box opening of J2 reprint. So did.
That was this Thursday.
No, he already did it. And so did.
I watched it.
Louis did his. The one thing I noticed when Steve-O did his and he got his foil, it's one of those. It's a positive from an empty space because he didn't say anything about the foil curling. Yeah. Like last time, where it was like it was heavily pointed out. I was like, yes, win. So Steven says, I've informed Alex of my issues with the J2 reprint, but in the end, it's overall a good run.
Yeah, Stephen Valenti said he's abandoning Genesis, hates us now. We've ruined his life. He's never watching our streams again. That's why he's here.
This is his last hurrah.
And, we've ruined Genesis. Genesis has been ruined.
I think there's a few people in the chat here who'd be happy to see you not performing on Geo because they want to take your top spot.
What position is he in?
He's first. He's number one. The evergreen Steven, consistent, is always playing, always there, always just chipping a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, and we just can't catch up. Clearly, Dragon World Games folks haven't been checking the Geo standings.
We don't at
all. In regards to borderless being kind of standard, when we did the first printing of beta, it was a lot about making sure we got the biggest bang for our buck when it came, and to get the print run size we had, we cut back on a lot of special features I want to do, like foils, because Alpha had an epic rarity, and it was in the printing process of doing beta and the distribution of the Alpha boxes that I realized I wanted to cut that back. because doing a whole other sheet for epic rarity, unique epic cards was like, okay, this is getting costly and it's not beneficial for the players. So that was a big thing. So there's so many things that I cut out and doing in beta, but one of them was putting in the black borders to save costs, because if the black borders on there, it gives a lot more room for error on the the printers, especially since they were doing our project with a lower capacity, like personnel capacity, because it was supposed to just be a small project. Actually, when I pitched them the project, they were initially like, "Yeah, we normally wouldn't do a project this small, but we have faith in you." I'm like, "Yay!" So, yeah, a lot of those things, and now it gives us a lot of space to kind of grow and learn. Right? We got the foils in J2, we got the borderless in J2 reprint, and it gives a lot of space for a lot of things that we have planned going on with future sets. So every set's gonna get a little bit better.
Yeah, there's another TCG that's going to Cardston as well. So it's like, it's interesting that, there were comments made back in the Kickstarter and all that stuff, but other companies are starting to see the benefit of having that hockey card, type printer being able to do what they want, right? So
now the other question is, how many of those other games who get printed with Cardston get to go have lunch with the CEO up there regularly? That's cool. I like him. And then what else? Did I miss anything else in the chat? Different border styles for every set. That was originally an idea that Arthur and I talked about when we first were designing the template. We wanted to change, like, especially when we went from world to world, being able to change things like the banners or the runes for the affiliations, stuff like that. Right. And not saying that's out the window, like, who knows? Well, we kind of know what we're going to do in the next world, but the community doesn't know. But there's a lot of opportunity to change things and do some cool stuff. And then, okay, cool. I think I'm caught up on stuff that going on in chat. What else was happening? Box openings, scheming skeletons. Yeah.
We have a draft. There's a draft at Heads or Tails. If anyone's in the area and wants to draft, we love our draft and we love our sealeds over at Heads or Tails.
Product arrival. Products finally arrived at a bunch of places. And I'm working with a lot of stores that are having some issues getting some product. But one of the cool things that I'm really liking is talking to the stores that are having issues with the distributors and working with the distributors to try to fix those problems. Especially when some distributors didn't know that the restock was ready and were waiting, and it's like, oh, yeah, you should probably place your order. So, yeah, Heads or Tails doing draft. I don't know, Dragon World doing something soon?
Just doing right. Well, so I talked about this. We were planning to do a field event this Sunday. Then we realized it was Mother's Day. So a bunch of people can't make it.
So it's bring your mothers out to Genesis Day, right?
Yeah. That's exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mother's playing Genesis.
We're going to be doing probably regular stuff, and they'll be just cracking packs in boxes.
Nice. Well, if anyone's, LGS is hosting any events, put it in chat. Maybe other people could join. More events going on. Yay. Okay, and then last thing that's on my list is we can talk a little bit about where we're at with the Origins product.
Yeah.
The actual Kickstarter stuff. So I put up a message in the Kickstarter page recently talking about where we're at. I can't remember what I said in that message.
Always a good start.
We're on track. We're progressing well.
Yeah. It's always hard. Like, as of right now, I always just say the term, we're optimistic about the July date. Because everything has led towards that. It's great.
Yeah.
There hasn't been major delays, but anything can happen. And I've had so many people message me on different platforms on what's happening with the Kickstarter. I'm like, I put up a post on the Kickstarter. Go check the Kickstarter. But it's just not the way knowledge gets disseminated, right? Like, it has to be posted everywhere. But we have gone through the process of doing the proofs. We saw the proofs. We signed off on them. Everything's looking good on those. And we are just going into some of the manufacturing stuff soon. So that's exciting. I don't know if people have seen this. I guess I might as well share some fun stuff. I don't know if anyone's noticed this on the back shelf, but I actually have the prototype for the Kickstarter booster box. I'm curious because this has been here for a few weeks. I don't know if anyone's seen that on the back shelf, but it's been there.
We knew it was fake.
Yeah, it doesn't have booster packs. It's empty. This is just so the cool thing was this was the first time they did that. For all the other products, they never sent me like a printed version. They only just gave me the flat one to sign off on, and I was like, okay, that looks good. This time they gave me this, and I was like, can you do this moving forward? Like with every product, just keep on giving me the proofs. These look cool. I'm so happy.
The guest star
Making a bunch of noise. Steve wanted to see the doggo, so here's Doggo. You don't know what's going on.
What is Doggo name?
Rossi. She's like 12 years old, so this is her treat time, so she's getting cranky.
Oh. Yeah.
But there's two. There was the referral program. Did you talk about that or?
Referral program. Do we have copy and paste for that somewhere, Joey? You're.
Well, here's the honest question. If Joey's gonna watch the show, why isn't he just on here?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you invite your guest in now.
And our special guest, Joey from Deck to Draft. Next week.
I think it's.
I'm calling him in now, so you guys are all prepared.
But yeah, the referral program. Actually, we've gotten a few messages about the referral program, which is really cool. I think he's still working on getting things because his whole entire perspective was that we give away promo cards for a lot of these events, which is really nice. But there are other things that people can get that are cool collector items beyond just having cards. Little ways to show off. You know, you love the Genesis brand, you love the game. Stickers. I know, like being a dev, it was people were always a big fan of putting stickers onto their laptops. I don't know if that's a big thing in the TCG space. I see some people with stickers on their deck boxes. That's a thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I have these stickers of Mr. Chocolate's face because I ordered some cards off of him. So
I don't know if the fans out there can see Joey's message, but he said, no, he's so busy. He's so busy, and he's going to make time for next week's video. You guys are all
he's so dedicated to Genesis that just to make that hour of time just to talk to us hooligans.
So why people in the company get frustrated with you, Alex? You've all told them for
bring
so
on
many.
The punishment. I'm just trying to bring on the punishment. It's the masochism. I'm trying to edge them on.
It's the first Kickstarter party all over again. They ever get their first 10 promos?
That's not till the Kickstarter ends. Don't worry.
Is there any more on the recycling program, or maybe that's a topic for another time?
So I'll be transparent. The recycling program, the big issue with that was we always just needed a space for people to ship their stuff to, right? So that when we get that space locked in and everything's good, then we'll make the announcement. We'll tell people, hey, this is the address. Ship all your recycling stuff to here, and then we'll roll that out. And then as we start getting feedback and we start understanding the program better, then we'll figure out how to refine it and make it cleaner and grow it. Because it is something that I really want to make sure is done right. I think
it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty cool
That
thing.
being said, I've seen what Sid chose for the various promos, and there's some really cool things there.
Is it like the recycling symbol pictured on a card?
It's just 3 cards. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Knowing if Alex is involved in any of this, it's probably going to be a rabbit or something. The recycling rabbit.
Oh, speaking of rabbits, we have 1 minute left.
No!
We do have, if you want to do it, we can save it for next week. We do it not at all. The rabbit off from the designers, Lionel and Carl, at some point we have to do to get the audience up to speed. Rabbit and Carl, Lionel and Carl both declared that they were supposed to pick the rabbit for this set. So I said, all right, well, both of you guys should assign rabbit, and we'll have the community pick the winning rabbit, or something along those lines. Vote on it.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm just going to say, I don't care what the community says. I'm going to do what I want. I'm out. You guys know that. But,
That sounds about right.
but you know, but they finally sent me in their design. So we could, we should probably plan that out.
Have an old-fashioned rabbit off? Yeah.
An old-fashioned rabbit off.
All right, Jeff. For those who have my address, do not send me your empty booster pack wrappers. That will not merit the reward of getting the promo. I'll still recycle them. That's
We
gotta happen.
could also just send them to Jeff's address. I have Jeff's address. so we
That's
can make that happen,
true.
too.
Where is that? I have that somewhere.
My bag of recycling right here back.
Was that in your room?
I'm waiting.
Is that just in your room?
For a little while, I wanted it to be like, okay, if you recycle some of the older stuff, you get even more premium rewards. But then I was like, no, that feels like a bit much. Then I have to sort through the packs.
All right, if you send in your alpha pack wrappers, we'll give you some premium rewards. All right.
Hey,
guys?
hear that, Sid?
This is not a commitment from Haunted Castle Gaming. I
Alpha
do need.
pack wrappers.
All right, I'm gonna follow Steven's thing and get like a little text thing that I can flash whenever Alex says stuff. It's like Alex
That
does
goes
not
off in my head.
represent Haunted Castle Gaming in any way.
Whenever Alex talks to me in my head, there's just this thing that goes across.
Alex, this is not a
This is a
representative
disclaimer.
of Haunted Castle Gaming. All right, I'm gonna throw up the closing screen. It's 8:00. I think, yeah. Good night, everyone. We're gonna wrap it up here. Bye.
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 Awkward goodbyes. That's always the way to end things.